So the following video that you're gonna watch, um, basically, I just don't have space on my computer, so I had to the video constantly kept ending and then restarting. So there's like some weird like cuts, um, and I'm gonna have to edit this video now, which I hate to do. But if you're wondering why things are weird, that's the reason. I might as well put in this little intro, because I'm already having to open iMovie. Like, just know one thing about games: he's never gonna edit the video unless it's like what the people need to see. This needs to be in the world. All right. Without further ado, buddy, it is me, Games, back here again with some more Fujo posting. Again, unplug my Wi-Fi router if you want me to stop. Today I thought I'd give myself an interesting challenge, which is to try to defend the Only Friends characters to the best of my abilities, given my extensive knowledge of messy behavior and why mess is good for us sometimes. A little bit of cortisol, a little bit of stress keeps us young, keeps us feeling fresh, keeps us feeling alive. It's not always a bad thing. And then sometimes things are a big deal, but like it's not a big deal. Also, you have to think of the fact that, are people really harmed? Are the people in this fictional world really harmed by these fictional actions? Sometimes the answer is yes. I feel like we're gonna see the answer being yes, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to put on my lawyer hat. I don't have a hat. Oh wait. Speaking of Fujo posting, terrible influence. Yes, I did get the merch. What about it? I'm gonna put on my lawyer hat, try to work through this in a methodological way. If you haven't seen the show, it's okay. I'm gonna give context for the things that I'm gonna talk about. And these characters are ordered from least problematic to most problematic, as you will see here. And I haven't really practiced, like, I know, generally speaking, what my defense for these so-called crimes are gonna be, but we're gonna see how well I do. Kind of off the cuff, low-key. Alright, let's start. Okay, Nam Chum, my good sister. The reason, like, if I had to, like, list 5 reasons for why I started watching OnlyFriends and thus became a full-fledged Fujo rather than just, a lady visiting, I would say that one of them was that I saw, oh, there's lesbians in the show. Nam Chum being one of the lesbians. Great energy, really positive vibes, really, you can tell, cares about her friends, and was being terrorized by these gay men when all she wanted to do was collect a degree. She was only trying to collect a degree. Now her relationship is on the rocks. Her brother is crashing out, predated upon. I don't know. Family troubles, family issues. Nobody she knows is talking to each other anymore. Stress, 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 stress. That's why you have to befriend some women, Nam Chum. All right. So let's look at what her crimes are, allegedly. So, yes, everything is beautiful and lovely about Nam Chum. She did tell Mew to take that man back. And by that man, I do mean Top, who did cheat on Mew in a very... We're going to get to him. Long story short, I don't think that man, those two people need to be together. I think that Mew can find another boyfriend. I'm sure there's another boy that Mew can date and sex and all that stuff with. So I'm gonna have to say that was a crime, Nam Chum. That being said, it was still up to Mew to say yes or no. I don't really think she was, because who was listening to Nam Chum? Who was listening to her? Who was listening to Chum? Nobody was listening to her. She is not the reason that Mew took that man back, okay? That was all on Mew. She could have told him don't go back to him. He would have done the same thing. And she was worried about her nice little friend with glasses. Like, all of a sudden, he got LASIK, and he started walking around like he was a bad bitch. Like, it was scary, I'm sure. So, she was trying to find out what could do to fix it. And, she doesn't date men. So maybe, when you're a lesbian, things go evil ways. You can work something out sometimes. Sometimes, your girlfriend's just a little bit evil, but that's okay. It's not the case when that's a man. I don't know why. I don't know what the explanation for that is, but that is what's going on. So that's my defense. Namjoon, she was a little bit confused. Are we really gonna punish a woman for confusion in 2026? Next case. All right. My man, Sand. Really, in a lot of ways, I'd say he was the victim in this show. Not really a victim, because it was a lot of self-inflicted things, i.e. choosing to love the text man for text type business. So I can't recommend you follow Sand's path, but he got a baddie out of it, so maybe, what do I know? I'm sitting here talking about BL. He's sitting there. Well, yes. So kind of questionable judgment, but when you're in love, you're in love. Like I can't say that I wouldn't do the things that Sand has done, because I've done that shit, okay? Real ass bitch. I don't know, he's real. He's like a good friend. Like, he would never, well, I guess we're gonna get to that in his crimes. But I love him, played by First Kanapan. My man, times two. Yes, I know, that's right. Like, I know Kyle Tong was like, but surely he can share. Like, I got a little something for Kyle Tong too. But let me focus. Let's talk about the crimes. Musicians. Ooh, you know what I should have added to this list? But that is okay. What I could have added to this list of crimes. Let's talk about this first. And don't come for me, because I'm about to defend this man. But a lot of people could say that some of the vocal, experiences that were given by Sand during this show were somewhat less than desirable. To that, I would say, let's talk to production. Next time, choose some songs that are in the actor's range. Don't make my premier clients look like a fool on international television, okay? Okay? That's all I'm going to say on that, okay? I love you First, I believe in you First. Next crime on the list, on our docket here, we have manipulation. So, I do think this, like, everybody says Sand is pure, Sand does nothing wrong. I do think, he gets his little hands as dirty as the rest of us in this show, okay? Because he does sort of trick Ray into his, famous crash out at Mew's birthday party by, like, sort of using him to get back at the guy who stole his ex top. So he uses Ray, who he kind of knows is, like, in a vulnerable situation, to get back at this nasty, nasty man, which, I mean, fair, valid, sure, get your revenge. But, like, did you have to use Ray like that, knowing Ray, love him to death? He can't handle everything. Like, if everybody is working with, like, hammers and nails and screw guns, what is it called? Electric screwdrivers. He's got some tape and glue. In terms of the tools he has at his disposal, it's not giving he can handle a whole lot. He doesn't have that many tools, okay? Sand, you saw his empty ass, dusty ass, children's plastic toolbox. So you should know him better. However, he was provoked. I really don't think Ray minded. I think that given the kind of person that Ray is, I think he would just, at the end of the day, say fair enough. Like, I don't think Ray is really that upset over the situation. Like, he definitely could be, but I don't think Ray cares. Sand, you were provoked. Like, that man, like, you don't understand the extent to which Top was just smugly walking through this world, not a care in the world, no remorse on his shoulders, thought he was untouchable, and decided to mock. Not only did you steal, okay, we're talking about Top, but it's kind of relevant here. Not only did you steal Sand's boyfriend, you stole his man, but now you are mocking him. You are provoking him. And there's another crime that I forgot to add. to top. When we get there, we're gonna get there. But you literally hit him with your car. Like, how are you gonna steal someone's boyfriend? You're gonna hit them with your car. It's too much. It's actually too much. It's actually no. So someone needed to expose his tea. I don't know why Stan couldn't just pass along the recording of Mew himself. Like, it might as well do that. Might as well do that. I don't think Mew would have really cared either way. But we love Sand, and I think that it's only fair that, Sand is with Ray if he's a little bit messy too. Like, this is just making them more compatible, okay? So, next case. I call innocent. It was a little bit messy. But that's the name of the game. It's only friends. Next case. Oh, right. Okay, so the other woman thing. So he was knowingly Ray's side piece. Like, he really didn't have any sort of moral objections to, Mew being cheated on. He didn't even say, like, hey, it's kind of wrong for you to cheat on your friend. Oh, he might have said something like that, but he really didn't care. That was his man. Is he not supposed to be with his man? Is he not supposed to be with his man? I just don't know. I don't know what you want him to do. Is it his fault that his man has a boyfriend at the moment? No. Take that up with the other guy. That's not on him, okay? He has suffered enough. Let him go home, okay? It's not like Ray even was trying to be with Mew for real. So it's nobody was taking that relationship seriously. Why should he take it seriously? I'm sorry, my computer is fighting against me this whole time. I'm gonna have to edit this video, but it's fine, okay? We're moving on. Who's next on the docket? Let's see. Okay, Mew. I think, and here's the thing here, right? So I know Mew is a controversial character, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but I love Mew, and I think there's like this thing that happens in ensemble TV shows where like the central character or whatever is really not giving at all, and it's like, why is the main character and they're the least liked person, because they're too bland, they're too like predictable, they don't have like a lot of oomph and power behind them, and their storyline is less compelling. And I think it's like really hard to like be at the center of sorts. Just based on the writing, it definitely feels like things like kind of center around Mew, with the way things unfold. So I think it's really hard to be at the center and still like carry the story from that place. And I think that Mew does a brilliant job at being like the central character of this show, okay? Because I think that the story that he represents of a person that's really like, new to love, but still thinks that they're so world wise that they're going to be able to control all these different factors, and that if they just be the perfect, the most reasonable, the slowest moving, rational person, that they can avoid having their heart broken. And he finds out that he's wrong. He loses himself, and then he has to slowly come back to who he is as a person. Like, he really thought that he was going to be able to protect himself from getting hurt, and then it turns out that he's so wrong. And I think that especially like as a story about a queer person, like I feel like that's so common when you watch all your friends like date, mess around, etc., but like you're later to experiencing romance compared to everybody else, just because of the way that experiences between straight people and queer people are really different. So you watch your friends make all these mistakes and you go, I would never make those mistakes, but then you make them yourself, and you wonder, like, what does this say about me? And I don't know, like, I think that's such I'm so grateful that Mew's story was told. I'm so grateful that he's here. I think that it could have been really easy to just play him as like the naive virgin who doesn't know anything and is like so excited to have his first boyfriend, but they really went through. This is a person that has self respect, has a head on his shoulders, knows his worth and his love, knows what his boundaries are. At least he thinks that he knows what his boundaries are, you know? And is trying to be, this good person, this full-fledged person, but still gets his shit absolutely rocked by a man. And isn't that crazy? I love Mew. I do, okay? I'm a Mew defender. So this is I ordered these people on like increasingly how difficult it was going to be to defend them. I really think that it's not that hard to defend Mew. Like I'd say like I'm telling him to take that man back was hard for me to find a defense for. But that being said, let's get into his crimes. So, people say he led Ray on. Here's my thing. Is it leading a person on to constantly tell your friend that you don't like them like that, you're not attracted to them, you don't feel any sort of spark between you two when you're together ever, and you've not told him this once, you've not told him this twice, you've not told him this 3 times? Like, is it really leading that person on? If you've told them, I'm not attracted to you again and again and again and again, and said, I only see you as a friend, I only see you as a friend, I only see you as a friend. This person kisses you in your sleep, and you go, I'm sorry, I don't think about you that way. I don't like you. That's why we're never going to be together. I don't like you. Okay? So, is it leading, is that what it means to lead a person on? Because I'm confused. Did he eventually say, okay, Ray, I'll date you? Yes. Yes. But that was after the 3rd or maybe 4th time that he said, I don't want you like that. So, clearly Ray didn't care about being led on. Ray was chasing after the leash, like a puppy dog, like a stray dog. So that's not on Mew. That is on Ray. That is on Ray. I'll be the first to say, like, again, there are certain things that Ray just can't handle, okay? And maybe this was one of those situations. That being said, this is simply not on Mew. Number 1. Number 2, so what happened to him is that he had to listen to the audio recording of his boyfriend having sex with his friend in a car. Okay? So excuse me if I think his crash out was justified. Excuse me if I think he had a very valid crash out over something that would make the average person lose their mind, go insane. And the worst things that he did during this crash out were date one of his friends that was in love with him, who he said, I don't want to date you, and they dated. Did they really date, or were they dancing in the club sometimes? And he said, I don't want to kiss you right now. Like, are those dates? Are those dates? Is that a relationship? The show seems to think so. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. It's a little bit confusing to me. I'm gonna be real about that. A little bit confusing. Like what else? So I don't really think he led Ray on, okay? Next crime, it was annoying, a prude. I don't really know why people hate Mew. If you hate Mew, please let me know what your reasons are. Because I'm just confused. I'm lost. I just don't know what he did for y'all to hate him like that. I know that he went over, he didn't delete the sex recording, and that was mean to Boston. I think Boston probably has other problems to deal with. Again, very valid crash out. Very valid crash out. He could have done much worse. Okay? Like, if he needed to date Ray to torture that strange, weird, lying man, that's what he had to do. That's what he had to do, okay? Sometimes the ends justify the means. I have no ill will. Ray is fine. He has a man already. What does he care? what I thought of something else that people that you did that people didn't like. He had all these rules about what his relationship was gonna be. I saw someone say like, oh, he had like 20 different rules about what his relationship was gonna be. He had 3 requirements. He said, I want somebody that respects me. I want somebody that loves my friends, and I want somebody that's honest and doesn't lie. Are those unreasonable? Are those unreasonable standards to have in a boyfriend? And he didn't want to have sex on the first day. Is that? And he didn't want to be asked out. Like I'm just so confused about what I don't understand. You hate. I don't understand. You hate. Okay. I'm gonna be the first to say that doesn't make any sense to me. Clear him of every single charge. I don't want to see a single charge attached to my client's name. Okay. Next case. Okay, Nick. Yeah. So you know what? Nick made this show entertaining because if Nick wasn't doing like we would have some like long drawn out like heart wrenching like will they won't they between Ray and Sand. We'd have Mew crashing out over his boyfriend cheating on him. And that would be a lot per episode. Like every episode dealing with that, that's a lot. And then we'd have Nick here and he's sleeping with his boss. Wow. Great. Love that. Love that. Work. Okay? He made the show entertaining. I'm glad that Sand had a friend in the show. I'm glad that he had someone he could talk to. You know, I think that Nick is pure of heart, but I also think inside his heart he is a heterosexual woman, and that will lead you down some really dark paths. Like I've known some people that the funny thing about this show is that like you can look at people and as I was watching the show and like even to this day I'd go, oh my god, you're such a Sand. Oh my god, that's Ray behavior. Ooh, is that a top I see? And I've known many Nicks in my life. They've all been straight women because that's some kind of we're gonna get into it. Okay, so the spy equipment. So what he did was he put spy equipment into his situationship's car, recorded his situationship having sex with a man that was in a relationship. And then he was really sad because he wants to be his situationship's one and only by X-Love. So what he would do was he would, through the credits, listen to the recording and cry. He would listen to the recording of the sex and cry. Baby girl. No. No, baby girl, no, we can't. No. Stand up, darling, stand up. And to this situation, I say, where were the friends at? Where was the community? Where was the community? Sand. This honestly should have been one of Sand's crimes because, Sand, why weren't when you heard the recording and said, okay, how did you get this? I put some spy equipment in his car. Okay, you bugged the car. Okay, why weren't you saying, okay, so let's put the phone down. Let's delete the file. Let's delete that. Stop listening to that. Why do you still have it on your phone? I don't. Why did you record? It's one thing to live listen, because he was live listening into the sex that was being had in the car in his little head in his Bluetooth headphones. Was it raining? I don't even know. He might have been in the rain. Listen to that. Bam, 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 bam. Really graphic sex. It's another thing to record it. And it's another thing to listen to it again and again. And it's another thing to play it for other people. All of those steps, someone should have stepped in and said, honey, girl, Because listen, sometimes your friends do just need a little bit of a reality check like that. Like, I've had to check people back into reality. I've been checked back into reality. Sometimes your situationship can take you to Mars when you need to be on Earth. Because you can be living your life like you're a Martian. You're still subject to the laws on Earth. That shit, I don't care where you are, that's not illegal. That's not legal in any country. You can't do that anywhere. You can't do that anywhere. So Yeah, Sam could have said something to him. Listen, we've been there. Stop. Sometimes, you got to get to the bottom of the situation. Okay, he didn't have all the information at his disposal. Ergo, he had to find his own information. Like he's a curious boy. Okay, he's a truth teller, information seeker. And they weren't supposed to be doing that. Like, imagine how long you would have gone on dating that terrible man, no repercussions. He would have just said, okay, I can do whatever I want. Lord have mercy, he did get back together with him, so at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that they broke up. But I love Nick. Nick is so real. Like, he matched Boston's energy so well, okay? So if you're gonna go through and be Boston and be sneaky and be evil, you need to find yourself attached to evil. And number two, and this could technically be a crime. I as I'm having these discussions, I'm remembering like, oh no, these characters did more stuff. So when he first met Boston said, hey, phone guy, my phone's broken, can you fix it? They had a little bit of sexual tension, a little bit of flirtation. Nick said, okay, I can fix it. So while he was fixing the phone, he was scrolling through the photos on the phone. And then he found some shirtless pictures, and then he masturbated to the shirtless pictures, and then he took a nude and placed it on the phone. And then he showed the nude of himself that he put on the stranger's phone to the stranger, thinking, oh, he's gonna think this is sexy. Boston, you should have known there, girl. That day, you should have known, let me leave this alone. This is the type of person that's gonna put spy equipment in my car. Number one. Number two, I'm a messy bitch. So if they put spy equipment in my car, they're gonna find something. You should know better. Not to blame the victim. But me personally, this happens to me, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, okay, let me try to give this guy my number. When I check out and I see he's placed a nude on my phone, I'm saying, oh, it's a little weird. And, I do think that's a crime. I'm going to plead insanity for my client. He's not in his right mind, clearly, and we're going to get him the help that he needs. Not a boyfriend help, not a boyfriend therapy. Medication? Lithium? Next. Oh, yeah, and then he let on the old man, but, like, that was his boss. So why are you sleeping with your employee? Next. The people's princess, Ray Packhorn. Okay, now. Love him down. Again, he's working with a different tools than most people are working with, so he gets graded differently, okay? But here's my thing about Ray is that unlike a lot of other people, like, he really was never going out of his way to harm anybody, to make a mess. Like, he was not trying to be messy. He was not trying to start drama, okay? He was trying to mind his business, collect his man, and go on with his life. The problem is people kept dragging him into their nonsense and their shenanigans, and the people that were dragging him into these things should know, oh, let me leave Ray alone. Okay, again, I've already defended Mew. I've already defended Sand, But in general, let's leave Ray alone, because I can't even say he's grown enough as a person that he's not going to have more issues down the line. I have a feeling I know what this first bullet point is. Yeah. So, he did kiss Mew while Mew was asleep. I got nothing. And I can't even pull, like, the defense, like, oh my goodness, this character would not do that, because I think at that point during the show, he would have done. He did that. And that is assault. I can't defend assault. That did happen. It looks like Mew was doing okay. It looks like they're able to be friends again. Good Mew, like, You know, like if that's your truth, that's your truth. I don't personally know if I could do that. Again, I do love Ray. I don't love that he did this. I can't say that was out of character for him because it's not. Um, and this is the sort of crime I'm just not gonna try that hard to defend. He's the this is the this is one of the one things like I can't do anything for you, Mr. Popcorn. Don't kiss people when they're asleep. Next, cheating. Okay, so he was technically dating Mew. Here's my thing, like again, were they dating for real for real? I guess so, because everybody was calling it two-timing and cheating. But again, no, Mew didn't care. Mew was like, listen, you go home, like go get your man, and he said, okay, let me go get my man, and so it was chill. Um, yeah, everybody was okay. Here's the thing that I love about Ray is this man is delusional. But it's not like your average kind of delusion where you think like the man loves you. This was delusions of grandeur because he really could not put two and two in his head why his situationship would be upset that he had a boyfriend. Like he literally said to this man that he'd been having romantic days with, talking, getting closer to, sleeping with multiple times, very, 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 passionate, intimate moments. And he said, what does my boyfriend have to do with anything I'm talking about me and you? And I had to say because he said, what does that have to do with anything? I like you. So what? You're going to break up with me? You're not going to. I think that's the next thing. Oh, no, okay, that's this one. Would not let Sand live in peace. Sand didn't want to live in peace. Honestly, like I do think it's a case of where like Ray is never in his natural life ever gonna let this man go. He's never gonna do that. And I think that's right where Sand wants to be, okay? I think that he's really happy that someone's fighting this hard for him. Good for Sand, okay? Did he ruin Mew's birthday? I've already told you, limited tools. Number one, number two, this was part of Mew's plan, so maybe that was like even Mew being a little bit messy. I don't really know. But the birthday was chopped. And here's the thing. Here's why Ray is low-key a real ass bitch minus the incident, the sleep kiss, okay, that we got to talk about. We got to move past it because I do love Ray. It's unfortunate that it happened. It did happen. Everybody was sitting at that boy's birthday party lying to him. Sitting there knowing the truth. Top knew. Boston knew. Okay? Nick knew. Sand knew. And nobody wanted to tell Mew the truth. And Ray was the only one that could do it. And that's why I have to applaud. Like, that is friendship. People will say, oh, these people aren't really friends. I really do think that Ray and Mew have a friendship. It's a complicated one. Perhaps a toxic one. But, Ray, he really cared about Mew. Like, that's his ride or die, okay? Should never have dated him. I just don't know where he thought. I don't know why he kept thinking, oh, I love Mew, I love Mew, I don't know what that was about. Got over it real fast. I'll say that. So, yeah. That's Ray's crimes. My client is going to do his time. He's going to do his time. He's going to do his time for that one. The rest of this, get it off the docket. Next. So this is Boston. Let's just go through the list here. I have a feeling not everything is even on here. So, be slutty. Okay, you can be a slut. That's entertaining. That's entertaining. It was entertaining at the beginning when he was, getting around with all these people. I know I don't personally think this is the crime. I think it's, the 21st century. Let the man be a slut. Let the man get around if he wants to get around. Maybe he's harming himself. Like, based on some things he said, like, this his behaviors, like the way that he just throws his body around, like signals that he's not, at whole, at peace within himself. So maybe like it'd be healthy for him to like take a break while he's in New York, to really find himself outside of like his, sexual relationships. But I don't think this is a crime. So it's one thing, and let me tell you this. It's really one thing to sleep with your best or your close friend's boyfriend. It's one thing to do that, right? It's a whole entirely different thing to be going around talking shit about your close friend, like plotting against him, spreading rumors and ruining his reputation. That's insane. Like, I don't think you're friends. I don't think you're actually friends with this person. I need to defend. Okay. That being said, my job is defending my client against this crime. I got nothing. I'm so sorry. Like, okay, let me actually try. Because before I was saying things that I believed. I'm about to say some stuff I don't believe, but the things that he was saying about Mew were true. And breaking up Mew and Top, is that the worst thing in the world? Like, no. Like, not really. Probably in the long run, it's better that those two people aren't together. And plus, Be Slutty / Evil, did he sleep with his close friend's boyfriend? Yes. But now that I think about that man, he was gonna sleep with somebody else. So if it wasn't somebody in the circle, you would have never known what a nasty, nasty, nasty man that guy is. So when you really think about it, Boston was doing Mew a favor. Okay? He cheated on Nick 5 seconds into the relationship. So he asked Nick to be his boyfriend, and then 5 seconds, I'm talking 5 minutes into a relationship, they go together to a club. He steps away to the bar to get a drink to bring back to the two of them. He brushes hands with somebody at the bar and he immediately folds. That's a lot for me. That's a big word for Elmo. To be fair, I guess they hadn't described, the boundaries that they were going to keep in their relationship. That being said, he did lie about it. So obviously he knew it was wrong. But like he said, that's who he is. He is a slut by nature. Like, at the top, we already said that being slutty isn't a crime. He wants to sleep with a lot of people. And I think that, anybody that loves him is going to have to love that part of him. And that means you're going to have to get cheated on, or you're going to have to be in that open relationship, Mary. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. He slept with Nam Chun's little brother, who didn't come to terms with his queerness yet, and then ghosted him, being his first queer experience. Did you have to sleep with her brother? Like, maybe he just doesn't want it. Maybe he just wants to not be in this friend group anymore. I don't know. Your Honor. Your Honor. How can we send my client to jail when all the actions listed under slutty, because he is a slut, but all the actions listed here were not done by my client? No. You see, he's possessed by demons. Demons and the devil. I'm not talking metaphorical. I'm talking about the literal, actual devil. Look at those eyes. That beautiful face. Oh my God. Talk about handsome. But look at those eyes. Evil. That's darkness. He's possessed. He needs an exorcism. Why are we putting him in jail so that he can disrupt the population of the prison yard when he needs to be in the church getting those demons taken out of him? They are leeching off of his soul. Who knows what's going to happen to him? This is emergency of the highest order, because doing all of that, like, did you, because Mike, the clearest evidence is, did you need to sleep with Namjoon's little brother? Like, did you need to do that? No, you didn't need to do it. No, you didn't have to. So, therefore, yeah, that's a demon. He didn't do it. Next. So this is Top. You'll see that his name came up a lot, in association with other people's crimes. Here's another one I'm just gonna get into because I got my work cut out for me today. And then again, I have to add some things to the list. So some things that I'm gonna add to the list before we get into this. He did hit. Oh, maybe it'll come up actually. Okay, so he's a liar. He lied. He lied to Mew about having sex with Boston. You know, did he lie? Did Mew ever ask, hey, did you have sex with Boston? I don't know. I don't know if Mew asked him that question. So can we say that he's a liar? I think people are thinking that he's like a spiritual liar because he was just in this relationship with Mew and saying making all these promises, and then he was doing that under this false persona, had, you know, sort of no guilt or remorse for any of that. And that can be the spirit of lying. But let me tell you this. A spirit of lying is not meeting the burden of proof in this court of law, okay? Show me the receipts for the actual word where he said he did one thing and really another thing happened. And then you can do that. You could say, okay, he got that text message and it was from Boston, and he said, oh, this is my uncle. I got to go talk to my uncle or his dad, something like that. But then I'd say he was merely going to collect information, and he didn't know if he could trust me or not in that moment. So he simply had to keep his defenses up. Okay? Weird ass bitch. Okay, I should add cheating to this. And this is a offense that I do believe, which is that it was just something that I was confused about through the show. Were Mew and Top boyfriends? Were they boyfriends? Because it seems to me that, you know, Top asked Mew out in the public space in episode 1. Mew says yes, I think, at the end of episode 1. Episode 2, they go on that date, and then Mew says, you know, I just said that I didn't want to embarrass you in public, but I don't know if I can really be in a relationship with you yet, because I don't really know you that well, so let's, like, take things slow. You can, like, hit on me, you can try to, like, get at me, and then we'll go from there. Like, let's slow things down. I said yes in public to spare your feelings. And then I think there was one other time where Top said, this is my boyfriend, this is my, you know, fan. I don't speak Thai, I'm sorry. And then Mew said, you know, we're not together. So, were they together? And if they were not together, is it cheating? I don't know. On a technicality, I think that some things were blurry here. And I think if I were Top in this moment, I would bring up, now hold on, are we boyfriend yet? Because I don't think we ever made that official. I don't think we ever had that conversation about exclusivity. You can tell, like, the hat, it's making me in my toxic masculine, which you need to be to defend the people in this show. So I don't know about that. Generally, weird ass bitch behavior, you know? Like, he was so smug the whole time, knowing that he's a cheater. And again, I'm putting that in quotes, alleged cheater. Again, I raised my doubts about it. You know, like, he hit San with his car. And then he was smug about it. And then he punched him in the face. The order of events is, he hit San with his car. Then he insults San. Ha ha ha. I took your boyfriend. I'm hotter than you. Your boyfriend didn't want you anymore. He came to me. And then he punched him in the face. Like, the order of events of that, like, that's crazy to me. That's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of weird. He had that whole thing where he said, yeah, you know, like, ever since I was a kid. I was in a fire when I was sleeping in my home, and now like I'm so traumatized by the event that I just I can't get to sleep if there's nobody in my bed. Like that's a little strange. I'm not even gonna lie. Like oh, okay, like sure you need somebody in your bed. Right. Like that seems like typical like asshole lie. But here's the thing, like what kind of toxic man do you know has a backstory like that? Like, yeah, like I just need to have people in my bed every night or else I can't go to sleep because of my childhood trauma. Like, I don't know, that's kind of iconic. That's kind of iconic. And again, like it made the show entertaining, all right? If he'd just been like remorseful and guilty the whole time about having cheated on his boyfriend, again alleged, like that would have gotten old. Like nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to watch it. Like I'm bored. I'm yawning. Please. But the fact that he really didn't have any guilt or remorse until he got caught, I think made it easier to get through the show. Like I would have just been more upset if he was like, oh my god, what did I do to Mew? You know what I mean? So we're, we're trying to make television here, okay? We're trying to make TV. We're trying to make TV. This is a iconic weird ass bitch, okay? This is going on in the history books. Like no, few have ever moved the way the top tandem moved, okay? And I think yes, that's the end of my little presentation. I'll open the floor to questions, but know that I am taking no criticisms. Everything that I said here was honest and true and correct. Kind of good argumentation, kind of good rhetoric, kind of good, crowd work, if I do say so myself. I think all my plans are getting off. Ray, he's gonna do some time because that was just a crime. Also, Top literally punches Mew in the face. I know it's an accident, but like, yeah, he's got to do some time for that too. Because I can't do anything for punching your boyfriend in the face when you're trying to win him back. Like, if 1 + 1 is 2, like it's not adding up to me. I'm sorry. So, thus concludes this thing. I'm sure I forgot about the crimes again. Like, they were doing a lot in this show. They were hashtag team too much in this show. Love it. So excited for season 2. I might do another one of this, like if the situation arises where people are being messy in the second season, I can see it. But I might do another video like this for season 2 or for some other show, some other work. Doesn't have to be BL with the little messy characters. Yeah. That's all I have to say. TERRIBLE. Okay. Bye bye. Boop. Boop.